Shit I've healed from. Once upon a time, I allowed my baby daddy back in my house because he was coming to visit the children. He had drove all the way from Chicago, came on in, was asking me a bunch of questions about my living situation and like the cost of living and everything had to do with us transitioning into moving into Texas. Then he shared with me that he was trying to move to Texas. And I looked at him and I said, oh, well, good luck. Because when I moved here, I had a job and a place to stay. Why? Because I set it up that way. So then he tells me, you know what? I just need more leads. Okay, go get your leads. Because again, he sells insurance. So he went and he left for a minute and he came back. I don't know where he went. Do not care. It's none of my business. But when he came back, he was asking me for my social security number and my driver's license. And I said no and no. He said, I just need you to help me get this policy so I can get paid and make a little money. After refusing him again, I went back to work because at this time I worked from home. I had a really good job. I worked a pretty steady schedule, and I was working from home at that day, and I was taking clients. So I did not appreciate him interrupting me to ask me these questions. I told him to take the kids and get lost. There's several parks around here. Go play. Go have fun. This was around the time when the children, yes, were out of school, but it was not the same incident, nor was it the same year as that last story. All I know is I got about 2 hours of quiet, 1 hour while they were in the house and another hour where they weren't. Now, fast forward to me going around the house because I am on break at this point. I go into my room and my purse is wide open. At this point, it's after the situation when baby daddy showed up with the women at my house. My purse is wide open and I'm checking it to see what's missing. There wasn't any dollars missing. There were no cards missing. Everything was there. But there were some things that were literally sitting out. Sitting out was my ID and my social security card, which were in my wallet, which was in my purse. I thought it was strange, but then I put two and two together and realized that this mofo went through my stuff because I told him no. Now, I'm putting all my stuff back into my purse, and I'm thinking about what my approach is going to be because how dare you invade my privacy like that? So as I'm putting stuff away and I go to hide it in the same spot that I keep my diary is open. Now, this ain't no ordinary diary, okay? I keep my words of affirmations, and I put my manifestations in there too. I believe in the power of the tongue, okay? And so all my secrets go in there. And it was wide open. Wide open meaning that it was unlocked and there were certain pages that it was turned to. Now, the way my diary opens up, it's like it closes in on itself, then it closes in on itself again, and then it wraps around. And that was wide open, and it was a specific page that it was on. And at this point, I'm like, okay, this mofo done lost his damn mind. So as I'm putting my stuff away, my middle baby walks in the room, the one that's like about 9, 10 years old, right? She comes in the room. She was like, oh, I saw my daddy going through that stuff. I said, you saw your daddy doing what? She says, oh, well, when I was in here putting stuff away in your bathroom, he was sitting right there where you're sitting right now, and he was going through your purse, taking out stuff, and he was taking pictures of it with his phone. At this moment, I am heated. What do you mean he was taking pictures with your phone? Come show me what you think you saw him with. And I just told her to just go through the purse and pull out what she thinks she saw. She pulls out my ID and my social security card. And then she says, oh, and he had your diary out too, taking pictures of certain pages. Now, my child is very innocent, and she didn't see anything wrong because keep in mind, this is the only parent that I've had a cordial relationship with all these years. So for her, it's normal for him to go through my things. In the eyes of a child, that is. So she very innocently said, Mommy, did I do something wrong? And I said, no, baby, you did everything right. And she smiled and said, okay, Mommy. And she walked out the door. So then Dummy comes in and I confront him on it and ask him questions about taking pictures of my stuff. Of course, he denies it and says that he didn't do anything and I'm crazy. So then I tell him that his daughter saw him and how dare you do that in front of our kid. He quickly denies it and says she didn't see me do anything. I said, but she told me she did. And now he's like, oh, no, well, she's a liar. What? I very specifically asked her to go through my purse herself and pull out what she thinks she saw you with. And she showed me exactly what she saw you. And it was the things that you told me you asked before. And I told your ass no. At this moment, I believe my child over him because my child was very innocent. And at that time, she had this twinkle in her eye and this pep in her step. And the world was just full of rainbows and fucking cupcakes, okay? I officially told him he could not come back and he was banned from my house. From that point on, he was only allowed to see the kids if I open up that door and let them scoot on outside to him. Other than that, there was no coming in. I don't care if you had to piss, if he was hungry. I do not care. You cannot come in here. You done invaded my privacy and you done did it in front of my kid. And she's over here thinking that, oh, deekadee, daddy's going through mommy stuff. That was the beginning.